So more of Demona's 1,000-year history gets explored more in this newest Gargoyle series from Dynamite Entertainment, written by the creator of the show, Greg Weisman. In this first issue, she gets vengeance on the one who wiped out the clan she led, and it's so good. So if you're not familiar with Gargoyles, or if you need a refresher on Demona's journey, I covered a good chunk of it in my last video. I'll have a link to it right here and a link below the like button. So this opens with narration from Demona's and Goliath's daughter, Angela, and Donald Canmore, who we'll meet for the first time in this series. Just know that he is the son of Canmore, who was the son of King Duncan. Both he and Angela basically explain how Demona and Macbeth joined forces to defeat King Duncan. Now, in that last video, I didn't explain how Macbeth's and Demona's relationship fell apart. That's what I'm going to do now. So in 1040, after they defeated Duncan, Macbeth spared Canmore and banished him from Scotland. He and Demona's alliance entered a golden age between humans and gargoyles. For 17 years, Demona had gathered all of Scotland's surviving gargoyles into a new clan that for the first time felt peace and safety. Some gargoyles even heard about this golden age between humans and gargoyles and flocked to join her clan. However, all of this came to an end in 1057. Duncan's son, Canmore, had returned to invade Scotland with the help of the English. Demona and her clan and legions of Scottish troops ambushed and beat back his army. Despite this though, Bodhi, Macbeth's father-in-law, requested a private council meeting and urged Macbeth to cast off his alliance with the gargoyles, since in his mind the English were only invading Scotland because they wanted to destroy the gargoyles. Yeah, that was the reason why, not like they didn't want to institute their own puppet on the throne and take over Scotland. He assured Macbeth they would go home if he cut off his alliance with Demona and the gargoyles. Macbeth's son, Luach, was outraged by this. Unbeknownst to them, Demona was secretly eavesdropping on this meeting, and since Macbeth did not immediately reject this advice because he was trying to show Luach that a wise king considers all his options, that had convinced Demona that Macbeth was going to betray her and her clan to the English, so she decided to betray him first. She abandoned Castle Moray on the eve of the final battle. Without the gargoyles' aid, Macbeth was defeated by Canmore and the English. Demona assisted Canmore in directly confronting Macbeth, and she accused him of betraying their alliance first. However, Macbeth made it clear he would have never betrayed her, because he's known her since he was a child. And remember, when we went over their history together in the last video, before their bond, she had saved his life twice, and he had saved her life as well. So for his entire life, he considered her an ally. Canmore ended up stabbing Macbeth in the back, causing Demona to collapse as well. It had confirmed for Canmore the long-standing rumors that Macbeth was magically linked to Demona, so he thought he killed them both. He revealed his plan was always to betray Demona, because he believed she would have eventually betrayed him, which is why he had her clan wiped out, and because he viewed gargoyles in general as abominations. Believing that he destroyed both of his enemies, he retreated feeling victorious when Luach arrived with reinforcements. However, as I explained in the last video, the only way Macbeth and Demona could die is if one of them killed the other. That's the only way to break their magical immortal link. So eventually Demona had awakened and had found out from Luach that Canmore had betrayed her and destroyed her clan, that she was the last surviving gargoyle in Scotland. Demona knew she was right and fled Scotland. After Canmore betrayed Demona, the world at large thought he had slain Macbeth, who really wasn't hiding. And then the following year, Macbeth's son, Luach, fell in battle against Canmore and the English. Canmore was finally crowned Malcolm III, High King of Scotland. So I'll be calling him Malcolm for the rest of this video. We transition to 1093 at Edinburgh Castle. King Malcolm Canmore gathers his entire family for both dinner and a formal announcement. He declares that each of his sons will be accompanying him on a journey to England because he believes the experience will offer valuable lessons that will benefit them in the future. However, his two eldest sons, Paul and Erlend Thorfinson, from his first wife Ingebjorg's first marriage, are the joint earls of Orkney. They declined the opportunity, stating that their responsibilities in the north require their attention. We'll be learning about their fate in the following issue. In contrast, his sons from his first wife Ingebjorg, Princes Donica and Dunal, who is Donald Canmore, we'll learn why he changes his name in this issue, express their willingness to make the journey. His current wife, Queen Margaret, voices concern over their younger children joining the expedition, especially the youngest prince, David, but Malcolm dismisses her worries, recalling that he himself had gone to war with his father at David's age. Prince Edward, their eldest son and heir to the throne, also disagrees with his mother, asserting that he is more than ready to prove himself in battle. To ease Queen Margaret's concern, Malcolm's younger brother, Prince Donalbain, assures her that he will personally watch over the children. From here, we see Demona arriving in Northumbria. She's clad in armor, and I love the look on her. She meets with the Gargoyle clan that resides here and introduces herself. Later, a young Gargoyle of the clan sneaks up on her, asking why she's carrying a sword, because Gargoyles carrying human weapons generally isn't a thing. Of course, there have been exceptions like Hudson, but still, it's not a thing when it comes to Gargoyles. Also, their claws are stronger than any sword, unless it's Excalibur, I guess. Demona answers, "The Gargoyle of the sword showed me the weapon's worth. He was the only survivor of my clan, but he vanished long ago." So the Gargoyle of the sword is Brooklyn. In the slave labor Gargoyle comics, which take place after season 2 of the show, that I began covering in my last Gargoyles video, Brooklyn ends up time traveling back to 997. It's a cool adventure he goes on, and I can't wait to cover it. It's really, really good. Now, the Gargoyle of the sword is a legend now amongst all Gargoyles because of that. Sometime later, King Malcolm and Prince Dunal arrive at Bamburgh Castle in Northumbria, where they are received by Robert de Mowbray, Earl of Northumbria, and Arkil Morel, the castle's steward. Malcolm delivers an unwelcome message from the King of England, William Rufus. Remember, the only way he was able to defeat Macbeth and gain the throne was by allying with the English. So Scotland is basically under England's control. He's just basically their puppet. He tells Earl Mowbray that King Rufus's message to the people of Northumbria is that they have not shown adequate loyalty to the English crown. Now, the Earl of Mowbray questions how Malcolm's visit is supposed to sway the king's opinion. That's when Malcolm reveals his true purpose is to teach a lesson, one meant to remind the Northumbrians just how much they rely on the protection of the English monarchy. He reassures the Earl that his wrath will fall only on the local peasants, not the noble class. At that moment, Malcolm notices the Northumbrian clan of Gargoyles in the distance. When he questions Earl Mowbray about them, the Earl tells him that they keep to themselves and aren't a problem. When Malcolm leaves, the steward Morel asks the Earl if they should warn the villagers about the coming attack. Earl Mowbray answers no, because he intends to use Malcolm Canmore's massacre of the village as a pretext for his retaliation. Now, just before dawn, Demona tries to urge the leader of the Northumbrian clan to scatter his clan, because them being all together in one place makes them an easy target for humans. But he and his second in command argue that the Northumbrian humans have never hunted or harmed them before, and that the clan will always remain together. She calls them fools and flies off. The next day, King Malcolm, his sons, and their army finished killing the villagers and burning down the village. They then come across the statues of the Northumbrian clan. Malcolm puts on the mask of the hunter and he plans to smash the clan, but his brother Donalbain tries to stop him, arguing that it's unnecessary and mentioning that when he was in exile in Ireland, he learned to appreciate the Gargoyle clans there. However, Malcolm makes it clear he doesn't care. He smashes the entire clan. Don't worry, he's about to pay big time on multiple fronts. As the sun sets and as they return home, Malcolm, his sons, and his army get ambushed by Earl Mowbray and the entire Northumbrian army. At the same time, Demona awakens and discovers the remains of the Northumbrian clan. She finds the young girl of the clan in their rookery who's mourning over the eggs because Malcolm didn't spare them either. Now, she survived the massacre because she had secretly followed Demona and slept where she slept. Returning to Malcolm, he and his sons are trying to survive the ambush, and his heir, Prince Edward, trying to protect him, is killed in the process as Malcolm is running for his life. The young Gargoyle tells Demona that if she didn't warn the clan, she wouldn't have hidden and would have died with the rest of her clan. Demona says, "It is too late for your clan, but it is not too late for vengeance." She flies off and comes across Malcolm. He's shocked to see her alive, but then has the nerve to gloat, offering to put on the hunter's mask that he says haunts her dreams. Demona says, "What did you imagine, some epic final battle between us, human?" She quickly gets up close, before Malcolm can even react and says, "Who's dreaming now?" And she kills him right on the spot. Dude is dunzo. We then learn what happened to the Canmore family after Malcolm's death. Donald Canmore explains in his inner monologue that he arrived too late to save his father. A small gargoyle dragged Demona, aka the demon, away. The steward Morel took credit for Malcolm's death, since Demona used a sword to kill him, so nothing could prove him a liar. Queen Margaret died of grief when she heard of both Malcolm's and Edward's deaths. With both king and heir gone, both Malcolm's brother, Donalbain, and his eldest son, Prince Donogh, laid claim to the throne. Donald's younger brothers basically scattered. Edmund sided with his uncle, Ethelred became a priest, and Edgar declared himself the true king of Scotland and fled with other brothers Alexander and David. His sisters, Edith and Mary, were sent to a convent until they reached marriageable age, and Scotland fell into chaos for 4 years. He says, "As for me, I disappeared. My uncle and brothers all believed me dead. You see, I was uninterested in a hollow crown. I had a higher calling, a righteous mission, for I had failed my father and ignored his warnings. So I anglicized my name to Donald Canmore and swore vengeance on the demon, pledging myself and my entire line to her destruction and the destruction of all her gargoyle familiars until the end of time." Returning to Demona, she tells the young gargoyle she would have ended the entire Canmore line if she hadn't pulled her away. The young gargoyle argues that there were too many soldiers and she would have died. Demona mentions that she can't die, but doesn't elaborate, only says that it's a long story. The young gargoyle asks her should they hold a wind ceremony. Remember, in my Gargoyles Dark Ages video, we learned that that is their version of a funeral. Demona answers, "It won't bring them back, but do as you like. Your life is yours." The young gargoyle asks her, "Where are you going?" And Demona answers, "Away from this cursed land." And then when the young gargoyle asks her, "What about me?" Demona says, "I wish you luck, Rookling, but I cannot be burdened with your care." And she ends up flying off. Now, the young gargoyle follows her, and Demona tries to dismiss her, but the young gargoyle tells her she's not going with her, she's just heading in the same direction. She asks Demona, "They call you Demona, don't they?" Demona answers, "Some do, yes." The young gargoyle says, "Then I must have a name too. I think I shall be Angelica." Demona replies, "Angelica? Well, it will do." That's the end of the first part of Demona's origin. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel and check out either one of these videos if you want more Gargoyles content. Other than that, have an awesome day, take care, and always remember every day to go beyond.